The clock strikes 12, I step into the haze. Whispers call me from 1,000 graves. Shadows dance in corners out of sight. I chase the unknown deep into the night. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. A flicker, a chill, a shadowed hand. The unseen lingers where I stand. Through creaking doors and empty halls, I hear the echoes of forgotten calls. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. And the unknown. Eyes that watch from a place unreal, a touch so cold it makes you feel they're near but hidden, veiled in shade. I walk with ghosts, I'm unafraid. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown.
It's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bizarre and the Unknown. I'm your host, E.D. Testman. Today we have Jerry Brandenburg back with us. We're going to be talking about the I'm all wrapped up in my deal again. Talking about the Northwestern Bigfoot. And, Jerry was on with us a couple months ago. We had a pretty good show. I'm still trying to download all these pictures. I've got about 16 of them downloaded that we can look at here in a little bit. We go through them. That may be all we have time for, but I've got about 15-year pictures uploaded right now, Jerry. So,
Yeah.
Jerry, how have you been since the last time we talked?
Oh, I'm doing good. We were up in Big Bear, and I couldn't handle the altitude up there, so we had to come back down here where we used to live. And yeah, so nothing's really been happening. We thought we were going to get some Big Bear, Bigfoot action up there, and Big Bear.
Heck yeah.
How you doing?
Man, I have been busier than a hiccup. It's that time of year that I'm just flat busy. are different than ones we see. Well, and that's what we're going to kind of talk about. Hey, Robin, Aaron, yeah, we're going to kind of talk about that because it does seem like there is differences in Bigfoots giving the location of where they're at. So we're going to kind of discuss that. Kind of compare some of the Northwestern Bigfoot compared to the central United States of Bigfoot. But it's anywhere you go across the world, it seems like they are a little bit different wherever they are. And I think a lot of that depends on the type that's in that area, or even the amount of food supply they have, or even the competition for the food. I think a lot of that plays into why if you see a similar type of Bigfoot in one area, it's more aggressive, where the other side it ain't. I think a lot of it has to play with the competition or the lack of food. That's just my opinion. I know, like Alaska, they're a lot more aggressive. Northern California, they don't seem to be as aggressive, but there is some aggression to them. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about today.
Yeah, I believe that, Eric. That they are bigger up north, right? Everyone seems to think that they're bigger in Alaska, and then you start coming down to Canada. They're still big, and then in North America, they're big. And like I say, when you start coming down to Arizona and Texas, I think the reports are that they start getting a little bit smaller. Probably, so they got to adapt to where they live, right? You got a lot of big trees up north. They can hide behind trees. I guess if you get down, I've never been to Florida, so I don't know what Florida looks like, really. I guess they can hide there good to swamp ape, right? They hide in the water, wherever. So I think they just adapt, like you say, and they go by the food. They're smart.
They are, because, they do seem to be smaller down south, but if you get into the swamp areas versus a land that's got more food, they seem to be more aggressive in the swampy area because the fact is there's a lot of competition. I mean, they're fighting gators. They're now fighting pythons. And, I mean, they're fighting everything else for this food source. So it makes sense why they are a little bit more aggressive in the swamps, where if you go a little bit further north where there's more food, less competition, they seem to be a little nicer. Like around here in the central part, I'm Southwest Missouri, but even when I was born and raised in Northwest Missouri, they weren't as aggressive up there. But for some reason, some people feel that Momo was aggressive, but Momo only attacked dogs. So it wasn't really attacking people. It was the food. So the aggression level, even with Momo, wasn't what it was exploded out to be. But if you get more up into Wyoming, Montana, Alaska, more so Alaska, they seem to be bigger, but they also seem to be a lot more aggressive. There's a lot less food in there. Thanks for the silver star, Aaron.
Yeah.
But I mean, in California, are they pretty aggressive there?
Down here towards the southern part where I am, they just want where I go on this trail. It's a hiking trail that's got fencing on both sides. I'm always taking my ice chest, and it's always full of stuff for them. And I try to leave fruit and some vegetables, and maybe some thawed out fish or something. Try to leave them stuff like that. And so before, I would just go to my spots and hand it out. But now, right when I get in there, and right when I go by the trees, I hear So they don't even want to wait till I go back to the spot.
So you're the type of guy that likes gifting. I remember that now. I forgot about that, because it's been a couple months since we've been on a live together. But yeah, you're the type of person likes gifting. So you haven't not had any aggression if you've stopped gifting?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. No, not really. I haven't seen no aggression. And what I've seen some pretty wicked stuff, my phone. I've seen a couple of things with my bare eyes, but on my phone I have some pretty wicked stuff that I don't even know what it looks like. If it's a Sasquatch coming through a portal at that same time, that somehow I took the picture while all this was happening, and he was metamorphosing to a Bigfoot. And but I have that, and it's pretty weird because I took 4 pictures in a row. The first 2 pictures, you see him, he's got his head sticking out of a hole. He's looking down, right? And it's a big head. And the 3rd picture, he's moving his head forward. You see him moving his head up. The 4th picture, he looks like he's looking right at me. So he's got one eyeball on me and one eye shut and a big grin. So I don't think that they're aggressive there. And up north, you know, I guess we'd have a lot more sightings of them if they were aggressive, probably.
Yeah. Well, I know there's been a lot of reports like people who's done gifting and all of a sudden they stopped and then they're getting hassled, their house is getting ransacked. A lot of that stuff happens once they stop gifting. So I was kind of curious on that because I'm totally against gifting. I'm not a gifter. Just because I've seen too many reports of bad stuff happening. The closest thing I've ever done to gifting was whenever I harvest an animal when I out hunt. What I don't use, I have a certain location that I put mine in, and it usually don't last more than a day there, 2 max, and it's completely gone. And that's like the closest to gifting I ever did. Now, when I done a documentary by ways of Bigfoot, we did a gifting deal for the documentary, which I can't confirm or deny. I've got to get money saved up to get this DNA tested. But we had something that got into the peanut butter jar, removed the lid, had it in a completely different spot, and the silver cellophane was peeled off so good that it didn't leave a mark on the jar one, and it was gone.
You hear they love peanut butter because you hear that a lot. Exactly what you said. That happens because I left peanut butter out too, and same thing happened.
Yeah, man, they've taken the toy jewels that we put out and stuff. Most of the toy jewels they've taken that too. So I mean, and that was the closest I've ever came to gifting. That's just something I just don't do, but we did it for the documentary. So,
well, doing it by your house, you know, that's one thing, but going somewhere and doing it is a whole different thing. You know, when I started doing it, I was laughing about it, right? I'm going, okay, I was watching the YouTube and I saw this show that says, hey, Bigfoots are over here in this area. And I said, damn, that's close to 20 miles away from where I'm sitting right now at my house, you know, and even I grew up 10 miles closer to it. So I'm laughing. I'm okay, there's Bigfoots over there. Let's go over there. So I take my little kids and my wife, so I wasn't too worried about it. Right. And I filled that ice chest up first thing, took it back there and was leaving stuff thinking, you know, big deal, what's going to happen? I'm gifting. Right. So, but sure enough, on that first trip, we left everything out and we were coming back and I had an empty ice chest. I look over my left shoulder and I see that blur running for about 20 feet. It was about close to 4 feet tall, just as fast, just a black blur. I've never seen nothing like it before or after, but I saw it right there and it was coming behind us. You know, maybe I felt them, you know, I must have felt them. And I looked over like that with both eyes. Not out of the corner of my eye, I had both eyes on it. And it was just a black zoom like that. And you hear that. I've already heard that since that's happened. I came home and I drew it, you know, to see what it was. And we're trying to figure out what it was. And it's on my Facebook page. And we never could figure out what it could be in that area. It couldn't be a bobcat, you know, just too tall for a mountain lion. Yeah. And so now I'm seeing a lot of stories of people. They say that that's exactly what they see as a black blur running.
Yeah.
Juveniles are that fast.
Yeah. I'm setting up one of the pictures, trying to make sure that I can zoom in and out on it. Yeah.
Show anything you want, man. I've seen you some crazy stuff.
Yeah, some of this stuff I'm thinking we've discussed already. And some of the stuff, you know, when I was looking through it, I can clearly see something there. Other stuff looks like I think it's pareidolia more than anything, but I could be wrong. You know,
that's cool.
That's just the way that. Yeah,
I'm good with that, Eric. Hey, not everyone's going to agree on all of it.
Oh,
we don't know what it is. We don't know what it is anyway. This is definitely a Sasquatch.
Yeah, you can go ahead. I was just getting it set up.
So you want me to tell you what happened here?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, this here, I mean, it looks like something could be there, but
that's
the problem
a smaller one.
Yeah.
I say they're rock carvers. So see to its left, there's a face carved in the rock right there. Right over a little bit more, you're almost there. Go the other way. Right there. There's two faces. There's two faces, a rock carved in the middle. Over here on the left of the picture is a big face. I call it the Yeti head. It looked more like a Yeti head. In fact, you know what? In a year and a half, it's changed. Like it's been worked on. Yeah. So when you look right here, I see a cave. I can see right where you're at's a black cave. But if you go over to my right, there's definitely a black figure right there right there. That's a white face. It's got some kind of tan face mark. light gray on its face markings. Yeah, right there. There might be one behind it. But that's one, and this little guy right here in the middle is one, I believe, because they're not in no other pictures. They're not in the picture after this or any other time I've filmed there. So to me, that looks like those look like biological creatures anyway. To me,
this one here more so sticks out than anything over here. This looks like maybe a primitive type of carving, or I mean, it could be shadow play. I mean, I can't deny, I can't leave that out because it could be that, but it does look almost like eyes, nose, and a mouth on that one there. So if it ain't shadow play, it could definitely be a type of like primitive carving almost.
So the one next to it, I think, looks like them.
This one?
Right there. Yeah, that one. That's an eye right there, probably the right eye, the mouth. Down there's the tip, the mouth, and go up. I think that looks like them. Because I think this is a breeding place where they come to breed, and it's going to be in a week in July, I believe. This picture was taken in July 2 years ago. And it's a hotel, Sasquatch Hotel, for the breeding spot.
I mean, it could be. I mean, there's definitely no denying that. It could be.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to get the next one set up.
I call that picture Mount Crushmore.
Mount Crushmore. That's a good name for it, actually. Because I always look at things like, hey, Camo Dad, like always, I always look at things at a forensic side and along with everything else. So that's what I'm trying to do when I'm analyzing these. But
you don't have all my other pictures. You don't have all the pictures of the days, all the other days I was in there taking pictures of that, where you can tell it's different.
And that's key too. Yeah, you need something like that. I mean, I've looked at most of these pictures, and I've been trying to blow them up. Like this one here, to me, looks like a shadow of somebody with a camera.
Okay, so this one, let me tell you what happened here.
Yeah, so this is from your video, correct? Because I remember seeing this in a video. Okay.
This is a video. I see a big body, a big, huge body, and there's a long arm hanging. But I also see a conical head on that shadow, and it was big. And what happened was, there was a mountain behind us, about 100 feet tall, and the sun was sinking low behind it. So whatever shadow it took, this had to have been standing on the top of that mountain, right on the very top. And I took the ice chest back there full of stuff, and I think this thing was crawling up over the top of the mountain trying to find out where I was leaving things. That's what it looked like to me. And there's also another weird thing is because you can talk to them. And I always find that if you find something of theirs and you start taking pictures of it and you start looking around, I always figure that they're looking at me right then, because then stuff always starts happening right after that. Like they get on to me, like going, "Hey, this guy knows about us." So let's mess around with him. So I found a spot where I looked like they were hiding in a pole, up on a pole where they could get up on a pole about 5 feet above everybody on the trail. And if they leaned against the pole and at nighttime, nobody could see them. So I got up in there and I was talking to him and I says, "Hey, look, man, I found your spot," thinking that now I'm going to probably see something afterward. So I go, "Hey, look, I found your spot, doggy. What are you going to do?" And so we kept going, and we come home and I see this video. That's right at the end, right after I say, "Hey, I found your spot." And then I get the video of that, and you can just see it move out. You can't see his whole body. You can see him he moves out, but he's up on top. They like to do that too. They like to cast shadows on you.
Yeah.
If they can, they move them around. See if you're looking, pay attention. So that's what happened there.
I thought I had the video downloaded and I didn't, so I'm downloading it real quick.
Another thing too is why I check that video, because every once in a while I'll get a video upside down on my camera, and that's when I start looking at that sucker close, because I think they have something to do with that, to your camera. Because there's people who say they can manipulate the digital stuff, and so every time I get a video that's upside down, I start looking at it close, and that's what I looked at. So we have to take a camera and we have to videotape it again, and then send it to my phone so it's upright. So do that. If you're out looking for these things and all of a sudden you got a video that's upside down, don't discard that one. Look at that one good.
Yeah, it's even like with my trail cams, I look at them about 3 or 4 times. If I don't see nothing that sticks out, then I delete it. Here's that video right here, and right
That's the
there,
end of
that
it. Yeah.
picture. Yeah, right there's that picture, and
There's the
that's
end
what
of it.
for.
See, it's hard to see that because they're not going to give you no easy thing.
No, and the reason why I thought this was maybe shadow, because you can tell where it looks like right there. If this will stay paused, right there, yeah, that's where you can almost see like it looks like a phone
Yeah.
light, and the shadow play with the mountains. I can see the mountain shadows there and stuff. That's why I was kind of curious on
Okay.
that one.
The way I see it, Ed, is that would be the top of the hill above me, behind me. So the sun wasn't behind us.
Yeah,
It was up on top of the hill behind us. So that's
yeah,
a casting of on top of the hill.
yeah.
So because I'm not going to say, hey, look at this. This is exactly what it is, and I take it to the bank. Take it to the bank.
What sucks is I can't like enlarge this one. It's like, I want to be able to enlarge this one, and I can't because it's a video. I mean,
Man.
it's a cool deal. I can't, I'm not going to say one way or another. Hey, Jeff, if this is fair dole or not. To me, it looks like shadow play, but and it may not be. I may be 100% wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody for sure this is what this is and this is what I just tell you from what I see on my end. But it's still cool. I mean, it's still cool either way you look at it.
This is what happens. This is what happens out there with these things. As soon as you find something of theirs, right? And now I admit it to them. I go, hey, I found your stuff, like that. And then, okay, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And on the full video, because that's just the end of the video. On the full video, you hear me talking, hey, I found your stuff. I found where you like to hide. Now what's going to happen? And then at the end of that, I get that. So it's like they respond. Yeah, and then they respond.
Did you send me that? Because I remember part of that. And I wonder if that was one you sent earlier when I was working, and I kind of listened to it a little bit when I was at work.
That might have been it, yeah. Because I call him Doggy at that time. I go, I got you, Doggy. I found your spot, and I was sitting in their spot where I think they got up in there about 5 feet where there's a pole on the side of the trail, and then the cliff goes right next to the pole, and about 5 feet up they dug out footholds, and you can see something big was sitting up there.
Mm-hmm.
So in the dirt, you can tell in the dirt. So and people walk in there 24 hours a day. You can't camp in there, but you can walk through there 24 hours a day. They let you hike in and out or with your bike. And so these things are obviously they come up to the fence, at night, I bet. So we only stayed back there once. I've probably been in there 30 times with my wife and my kids, but we only went back in there and stayed till it was dark one time. And on the way out, we got samurai chatter. That's
cool, man. I spent years telling people, man, I've heard that samurai chatter out here on my property, and hey, dwarf, salute. It is 4:20 in your area, ain't it? I forget your 2 hours. My daughter's in California right now doing my oldest daughter's in California right now doing a oh my gosh, a deal for college.
Where at?
She's in the Valley. Hey, Bounty. Oh my God, I forgot what it's called. Internship in Cali.
San Fernando Valley girl.
I'm not giving a whole bunch away. It's the Valley. It's my daughter. I'm very
protective. My bad. Yeah.
Internship with a big law firm in the Valley, and she just done an internship with a law firm in New Mexico, and now she's over in California doing her second part of her internship with a law firm there.
Congratulations, man! Congratulations.
Well, today
we need a good lawyer in the family.
Yeah. Well, I always said I needed a doctor and a lawyer. That way I have one daughter that can get daddy out of trouble and the other one can heal him up. And I'm back 1 for 2 right now. I've got one that's being a lawyer. But
you'll get there. You're going to get there.
Yeah. It's her 20th birthday today. So, I called her bright and early, forgot it was a 2-hour difference, singing her happy birthday on her voicemail. And then she called me a couple hours later, just waking up. It's like, oh, Dad. I was like, oh, man, I'm sorry, baby. I forgot you was 2 hours behind me. So,
happy birthday, Eric's daughter.
Yeah, she we talked for a little bit and stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, she turned 20 today. I'm getting old.
No, hey, got to take care of the kids, man. Take care of them.
My youngest turned 19 on the 9th, and my oldest turned 20 today. So I'm like, good God, man,
There
I'm
you
getting
go.
up there. I'm getting long in the tooth. But
I have a 30-year-old. I have a 30-year-old boy.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I keep giving them crap saying I didn't have gray hair until you kids started acting up, and now I'm getting gray in my beard.
Mine already went. I'm good on top though, man. I don't know why it's not turning gray up there, but it's all over everywhere else.
I'm losing it up there, but it's not turning gray, but it's turning gray here. But
Yeah.
no, it was good. It was good to be able to talk to her for a little bit today, and
Good.
she's been out there for a week already. I was like, "You're not gonna like Callie, dude. Callie sucks." And she's like, "Yeah, Callie's expensive." But she apparently it's cleaned up a lot since I'd been there.
The weather's
Well,
nice. That's
yeah,
it's just about the weather. You know, you got the weather and the beaches, and you can actually snowboard. You can ski in the morning, and you could be at the beach, surfing in the afternoon here.
yeah.
That's what I like about it, and maybe catch a rodeo in between.
Well, everybody said I would like Northern Cali more than I would Southern Cali because I've always been in the Southern Cali part. Ego,
Mhm.
Oceanside. Down there, spent some time in TJ. Got chased by
Yep.
federales in TJ. Had a little incident with federales in TJ.
There you go.
you know,
Yeah, I'm sitting about 45 minutes, maybe an hour away from TJ right now. Probably an hour.
I got down there in TJ, and them Feddies they wanted to hem me up for $200 on a fake deal, and we kind of had a conflict of interest that was settled with the means not necessarily set by the federale standards, and I won. I
Oh, there
was
you go.
gone, but I won.
Hey,
I didn't stay around. I was gone.
they were a man of their word though, huh?
Well,
They-
yeah, because they were on the ground by the time I was done, and I was running.
There you go, Eric. Eric, there
my,
you go.
my boy left behind dry too. I was looking for my boy. I was like, dude, where
Sure.
you at, man? I mean, he
They're
like,
knocking on your door right now.
oh, I know. And
Yeah.
well,
I
luckily
like it here. I like it here because there's work. There's always a lot of work. If you want to make some money and you want to stay busy, you can do it here.
Yeah.
There's always stuff to do to make
It's
money.
just so expensive, man. Cali is like so expensive.
Yeah, our diesel was just $7.50. Just
Good.
went down 30. It just went down 30 cents. Yeah, I'm paying $7.50 a gallon for diesel.
Holy crap, dude! I'm bitching. Diesel here is like 4 something a gallon, and I'm bitching. And I was like,
Really?
I remember when diesel was a hell of a lot cheaper than gas. In fact, a lot of us went to diesel because it was about 20 to 30 cents cheaper than gas.
Yeah, when did they catch on about that? One day they just caught on about it.
That was like the early 2000s, and they went, "Hey, we're losing a lot of money because people are going to diesel." I was like, "Dude, it's a byproduct. At first, you get oil, then you get gasoline, then you get jet fuel, and then you get diesel, and then you get kerosene. Or no, it's kerosene then diesel, or vice versa. I can't remember off the top of my head which one's which. Anyways, goes all the way down. Last of it's bituminous, which is asphalt. Asphalt's the bottom of the barrel of it. And,
Oh yeah, you would know. You would know
Yeah.
that's your business.
yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of people don't realize, asphalt's not what we put down. Asphalt's the bituminous that's at the bottom of the barrel once it's been refined so many times. So your tires, your roofing, shingles, the paving of the road, that's all done by bituminous.
I didn't know. I've been in construction my whole life. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it's the bottom. I just went through schooling on all that crap. Yeah, the bituminous and aggregate certifications.
Yeah.
She just said I just paid $3.98 for gas at Costco in Montana. Holy crap!
I wish.
Oh,
I
geez.
wish. It was
Hey,
cheap. It was cheap in Arkansas last year. I think it was three something. Yeah, $3.99 in Arkansas. We were there last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I had some interesting stuff happen when we were there for 6 months, for a full straight 6 months. But this is about California, right?
mhm.
The show's about California.
Yeah, because I've only been to I've been to Ego, Oceanside, Pendleton, and an army base that Clinton shut down north of San Jose. That's the only spots in Cali I've been. What sucked because I was there in the early 2000s. I was there from '99 to I think it was February or May of 2000 when I left. And like the beaches were full of trash and stuff. But I slept through 3 earthquakes while I was there, or 2 earthquakes while I was there. Once in boot camp, and once when I was in a foxhole in SOI school.
Did you ever feel any of them? You never felt what earthquake?
No, I got in a lot of trouble with my DI because I didn't form up with everybody. I was asleep in my rack. I
sense them. I can sense them before they come. Like all of a sudden I'll wake up and I'll start like, what in the heck? I'll look around for a minute and all of a sudden the rumbling comes. Like, I must have some sense of hearing that feels vibrations before it gets to you. But they have different ones. They got rolling ones. They got ones that just shake the crap out of everything. They got all different kinds. And the rolling ones are a trip because you can hear them coming. And you hear the trees breaking and you hear everything breaking to you. And then you just kind of go up and down like that. And it just keeps going. Those are really weird.
Well, the one we had about 9 years ago, that hit Oklahoma. I was in Pineville, Missouri, which is it's right next to the Arkansas border. That one woke me up. And I was at my uncle's cabin on our old family property in Pineville. And that one woke me up. I thought it was the kids messing with me, trying to get me up. And I was like, hey, leave me alone. I looked up and there was nobody up. And I was like, huh. And I went back to sleep and got up and was like, hey, was there an earthquake this morning? Because, Oklahoma had one. My mom told me.
Well, there's a fault line.
We're on the largest fault line in the world.
Missouri,
yeah. It's the biggest earthquake that's ever happened, recorded, and it's the largest one. Yeah, I mean, it's a humdinger if that thing goes.
Yeah. Well, that whole area, Eric, where you were down there in Oceanside and Carlsbad, that's all Sasquatch sightings down there, a bunch. And the Army or the Navy, whoever does it, the military, man, they take so much land and they fence it all off down there, and then they have all their training down there, and like you say, the Air Force is down there in San Diego. And they take a lot of damn land, and they got a lot of sightings. In fact, that's the first time I started. When I decided in 2021 that I was going to go ahead and look for these things. When and in 2021 I was in Carlsbad, and that we were building a building there that the ground's never been touched before. It's all untouched property. That's how they do the big projects. And so I have my door open as I'm an inspector, and I was just sitting there looking at the ground. I'm like, what the hell is this? And all I could see is a big footprint, maybe 15, 16 inches long, big and fat. It's a picture. It's on my Facebook, but I didn't send it to you. But it's on hard pack too. They had rolled over the dirt and packed it like base. The DG, right? Yeah. They had already rolled over the DG. So how am I going to see a footprint on this thing? It's so hard. But there was a big footprint. And that's when I looked up and started looking around over the fence going, what in the hell is over here? Yeah. What's going on around here? And right after that, when I said, okay, show me, since then it's just been a whirlwind. I
remember when I was in SOI at Pendleton, we were having worm games against MSI, Marine Corps School of Infantry. SOI is School of Infantry for the infantry guys. The Pogues go through the other one that's a lot shorter than ours. But we were doing war games with them, and I was sitting in a foxhole up in the mountains there in Pendleton, and I was looking through my thermals, and I seen something large and white because we had the white black thermals going on, and that thing just wicked fast ran in front, and I'm sitting in that foxhole going, that's not human, and that's not human. And I was like, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just
they see them, right? They see them on all their cameras, all the property lines, all the people that security, they see them things all over the place.
Oh yeah, I mean the Dogman, Wendigo, Bigfoot. I mean, we see all kinds of crap, UFOs. I mean, all kinds of crap around military bases.
There's a good one. It's on YouTube. I think it's Mysteries Unknown, and it's Sasquatch or Bigfoots, they call them Bigfoots in California. And that guy on there talks about being right there at Lake Hudson and at the Hudson Dam in San Diego. And he would camp right there at the Hudson Dam and was interacting with them.
Yeah.
Sasquatch. Right there. So that's just down the ridge line from where I'm at, from where I'm seeing my stuff. So it's really on the same ridge line or mountain ridge line. And then so I'm just a little ways over. It'd be like a big triangle.
Yeah.
Basically,
well, I think it was on Old Light Encrypted's show Tuesday night. I think that's the one I was talking about. I was like, you forget about these things. Like in Vietnam, they talk about the rock apes. There was actually firefights with rock apes in Vietnam against Allied soldiers and these rock apes, because these rock apes were throwing rocks at them and trying to get in and hurt people. They were hurting people. Some of our soldiers while we were there, and they literally had a firefight with them. I mean, military and cryptids with supernatural has been happening for eons. I mean, it's been going on since the dawn of man. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that these things, are attracted to military, because I mean, look what all we've done. I mean, the Romans had a fight with the lycanthrope.
Yeah. That's why I always talk about those metal armors, right? Who would want to fight with the metal armor on? You know what I mean? But what if they were having problems getting zapped by something, and they couldn't stop it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To me, wearing a full metal armor and riding around on your horse makes more sense than trying to keep a Sasquatch from zapping you than having to get off your horse and fight someone with a sword.
Yeah. It's amazing what if you read history of all the encounters you've had with cryptids and supernatural dealing with the military. I mean, they talk about it a lot. It wasn't until about 70 years ago or so that it kind of went hush hush. You can find it, but it went hush hush. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the military, if we say something like that, we always get told that's something that you did not see, and don't go around telling people that you did see. And that's basically it. Or if you get into files like I did when I had top secret clearances, that's above your pay grade.
Yeah.
So
well, I like to anytime you hear a story or old story or something, just take out the main character and inject it with the Sasquatch, and it almost makes more sense.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, look at the saga of Gilgamesh, the epics of Gilgamesh. His friend, if you listen to the description, he was tall, he was muscular, he was hairy. I mean, he was from the woods. He was created from the woods. I mean, it describes Bigfoot.
Yeah, like Esau, Esau, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the story of Esau and Jacob, where Esau was born first as a twin, and Jacob came out holding his heel, right? But Esau was born with the red hairy hair all the way, all full his whole body. Jacob wasn't. Esau used to like to hang out in the woods, and he was super strong, had a lot of strength, and liked to eat deer. And he lived out there. Like Jacob lived in the tents with, the regular looking people. And so that's where I really think they come from, because I have a story right there. I have a whole story. It makes sense to me. And, unless I find anything different, I'm just going to stick with that one.
Yeah. A lot of people will tell you, I mean, like Native Americans will tell you, Bigfoot is the elder big brother, the first beings, the ones that was here before humans were. So many of this stuff, even in the ancient Sumerian, it talks about these things, and they were here before humans were. And so many of your cultures throughout the world talk about these things being here before humans. And that's one, I always said, I don't really necessarily, when it said like, take the Anunnaki, for instance, they took the clay of the earth, mixed it from their DNA and created humans. I don't think it was actually dirt. In the Bible, God took from the earth and created Adam and Lilith, from the earth. I don't think it was necessarily how we describe it as earth, as in dirt. I think it was the life forms that was here. And that's just how I see that stuff. And that's why genetically we'd be very similar with them and be able to have offspring, is because we were created from their DNA, just mixed with the DNA of a higher higher being.
Something it's mixed with something that they're smart and and I think that's another reason why when they come at you in just bits and pieces, because that's a good way to stay hidden. You know, if they just and over a period of time, right? If they give you a little nibble here and they wait a while and they give you a little nibble here and you're staying with it, eventually it'll all catch up into one big story for you and you'll know.
Oh yeah,
You know, that's a good way to stay hidden.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cain and Abel, Aaron. When Cain slayed Abel, he went to the city to find a wife. So if Adam and Eve was the first humans on this planet, how was there a city with women when Cain then went and found a wife? I think that might be what you're mixing up there, but I could be wrong.
Well, it says there were other people already on the planet, right? When that happened. That's why they might have came. That might have been a lab in a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
You know, who knows? But we weren't there. It's a lot of stuff. You're supposed to have faith. You're supposed to have faith. You're supposed to believe in God and have faith in Him. It'd be too easy for Him to stand in front of you and say, "Look, I'm real." You know, okay, now I believe in you.
You know, when I was going to school to be a preacher, I was actually going to school for a little bit to be a preacher because I was always told I was meant to lead people.
That's cool, brother.
You know, I studied a lot of that stuff that was taught to us in you know the Bible colleges. I mean, we'll just call it what it is. It's a Bible college. And I've always, I never could, even with their teaching, I still questioned everything like I did when I was a kid because I was like, this makes no sense. You know, if you're telling me that Adam and Eve was the first people and the reason why they were cities because they had hundreds of children, then I would say that God believes in incest. And they're like, well, that was back then when the Earth was small and we didn't have the population we do now. That's why it's not looked looked upon now as a good thing. I'm like, in the Bible it talks many times about cousins marrying cousins or this other stuff. I mean, come on, let's think about this. I really don't. I think Adam and Eve was the first ones like us, or they were for a long time. I thought they were the first ones with a soul. But the more I studied all these religions and all these, creating of humans, when I started changing that we were the first ones with a soul to we were created from the beings that was here first, because we absolutely do not fit this environment of Earth.
I don't think so either. I don't think so.
We sunburn. We're not covered in hair. We don't have anything that protects us from the sun.
We fall apart. We just fall apart.
We do. We're not from this. And what's funny is if you actually study our DNA, a lot of our DNA can be found on Mars.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, come on here now. There's something.
I think that there was a civilization there a long ass time ago, and now we're here. Something happened. Something happened there, and we came here. That's I think
that's another possibility too. It's amazing because a lot of civilizations will also tell you that the star people brought us here or the star people made us. It's usually the two most common things you'll hear from my ancestors is either the star beings or star people, sometimes sky people too, depending on where you're at. They brought us here and we came from the stars. Others will tell you we were created by the star beings or the sky people, however it is you want to say it. It depends on what culture it is. We were created by them and brought here. So it's very fascinating. And could that be why we have different species of people? Possibly.
Yeah, I always just think that I always believe that there's one God and He's the baddest of all of them. He's the best and the strongest and the smartest and loves us the most. Just one. Even because I didn't learn about church till I was 19 or 20, when I took myself in there and started learning about religion. Yeah. And so what I always thought when I would hear the different denominations, I didn't know what they were. I thought I'm talking about like Buddhism and
which Buddhism is not a religion. That's a big misconception. It's a way of life.
And all the different other ones like Muslim. I always figured that everyone was talking about one God, So no matter what you call him or no matter how you go about it, it was exactly going back to the one person.
I am the God above all gods.
Yeah, that's the one I talked to.
Key word, above all gods.
The baddest and the best. Yeah, that's the one I talked to. Yeah,
here's the one great creator. You know?
That's we don't know, you know, we don't know. So I know I bet you a long time ago too that everybody knew everything too. They knew all the history and everything, and that didn't work out. For some reason that didn't work out for us. So they had to manipulate it to where we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now we just have to go blind and with faith.
Yeah. Miriam, that's a very good point, and I've brought that up many a times because a lot of people don't know. If you actually study Christianity, you know, you study the Torah and you study the Quran. Muslim was started by I think it was Ishmael was the oldest son by Adam with the Egyptian slave woman, and when they were casted out, when Adam's wife finally after she realized she wasn't barren and was gifted a child, like God said that he'd be gifted a child through his wife. They cast him out when they were wandering the desert. Him and his mother prayed to God, and God relieved them. And then that's where the Muslim religion came from. In all actuality, Muslims and Jews are the same people. They're just half brothers. They're half brothers. If you actually, so I mean, I agree with you a lot because the Quran's actually very interesting, and I recommend people read different religions. I've read the Quran. The Quran's a very interesting book, much like
Backwards.
a lot of other. Much like, yeah, like a lot of the religions, though, is the people who's in power who tells you this is how it is, and that's why I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person.
There you go. I like that. I like that the way you said that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so also when I go back to that Esau and Jacob story, where because Rebecca was the mom, right, and then she was older, and she was older and she wanted kids, and so she prayed for the kids, and then she got them, and they were always fighting in her stomach, like big time fighting, and so she asked God why, and He said, well, you have two nations in your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
So it says that right there too. So I like that idea, but I've tried to look for all the stories about the descendants of Esau, and I don't know where. There's not a lot in there I could find. There's some in the Old Testament.
There is. I mean, a lot of these old texts will talk about this type of stuff, and Miriam brought up something because I've actually had an experience with a jinn when I was in Cobb Spiker, Iraq. When I was out on ECP, I've seen one crossing our ECP, and to me, I think it was a ghoul because the way it was looked, even though it was more shadowy. But I've also done a show on poltergeist when I showed a video of a jinn haunted home, and I showed a video of a poltergeist haunted home. They're exactly the same. Mm-hmm. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, when a jinn takes over a home and you're there, it does not like you being in home.
That's where they're at. They're over there, right? That's where a lot of them are.
Hey, Brother William. Yeah, they are. And there's so many reports from World War I and stuff in no man's land talking about these tall, gaunt creatures that was taking the wounded or the dead and eating on them. On top of other types, yes, don't get me wrong. But other types, and if you actually study it and how they describe it, it is a ghoul, which a ghoul is a type of jinn. So to me, supernatural doesn't have borders. That's a man-made thing. A supernatural entity can go wherever it wants. Borders, lines, and stuff was created by man. So them seeing them in the trenches of World War II in no man's land, I believe, is very, very possible.
Yeah. Well, this place where I'm at, where I'm going, I've already been told that it's not a good place to go as far as being safe. That I've already had a couple warnings that they're not just Sasquatch and they're not just dogmen.
I've ran into that. Oh yeah,
there's something else in there too. They said it's but I can say nothing's happened to us as far as. Is the couple of things I did see, like when we were looking over the fence, me and my wife, and we were leaving there one day about noon, and it was sunny, and we already hiked in. I think we left some trail cameras in there. So when we came back out, we were on the other side of the gate there at the back of my truck, and I'm looking over the fence, and I could see a big black sheet of looked like black hair, right? So I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking that looks like a big black sheet of hair, like a back of a bull or back of a big ape or something. And so I think it was sitting there hunched over, its shoulders hunched over and its head down really low, right? And it was hunkered down really low. And so I'm just filming it, and next thing you know, I'm like, okay, let's go. Right? Get in the car, let's go. So when I look at the video, when you look at the video, you can see that it sent its little henchmen. I don't know what they were. It sent his little cronies around, and they got really close to me too, right? And they were opening up the bushes, and you were just seeing whatever flashing or whatever was coming through there. And then you can see where they just kept going. And they come up on the left-hand side over here, and that's the end of the video. But so apparently they were doing something to us that told me, hey, there's nothing to see here, so go ahead and go. You know, they did that again another time on a video I took of the heads, the brown heads, where I'm whistling, telling them to come out.
Mm-hmm.
People were coming on that hiking trail too, and I didn't want people to, because people, if you're filming, they'll stop and get behind you, like, what are you looking at? And I didn't want them to see them, so I shut it off. But after the people left, we could have kept videotaping, you know, again. But we just walked out of there. And I remember I got in my car. We got in the car, and we were about 5 miles away when it hit me. I just filmed something important. You know, why did I just walk away again? You know, so
Yeah.
So they can do that to you. They can zap you, I believe, here where I'm at. So I don't know if that, you know, how normal that is. And then again, I'm starting to think, what if they're healers? What if they're really healers and say something's wrong with you and you don't know it? And they can go, well, I'm going to fix this guy with a little bit of a shot of radiation, you know, not knowing that they're really probably hurting us than helping us. They probably do that to each other.
What the hell is going? Hold on, so I got wow, I don't know why, but Facebook all of a sudden started playing right when you was doing a bunch of talking, and I was like, I can't figure out where this is coming from.
Did you see that picture of that corn I sent you?
Yeah. I was actually looking up some pictures. I think that is going to be
There's a couple of prints with it.
Yeah, I seen those. I thought I was trying to see what all I got downloaded and what I did.
That one print, something framed it. I didn't frame it. I didn't put those sticks around it.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice it till later, right? That something had framed it. Like, look at me. Look at this print. So yeah. I believe that was a footprint, and I believe the other one was a half of a handprint.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to pull it up now.
Yeah, they could both be feet prints, but okay, there it is. So yeah, I didn't see the toes. Yeah. So, but look at it's framed. Something took straw and made a frame around it. I didn't do that. I didn't notice it till later. I didn't notice it till after I was home looking at the picture. And it's weird because they make this X and then they put the long pieces right through the X on both sides of it. Like, it's not just thrown there. It's built, both sides are built the same way. And also there's a bug. I think there's 2 bugs in it. So yeah. It might have stunk, right? See, there's a couple black bugs in the middle of it. So it must have stunk. So the black bugs came and were on it. So that's at Canyon Lake. And in fact, it's about 5 miles away from where I live right now. But that's inside Canyon Lake, inside that gated community at a park. And so I took that picture, and then I started looking around again, like, what left this here? You know, I'm looking. See, I think that's a handprint. That was right next to it. It's hard to say. It could be a foot, but I thought it was a handprint compared to what I thought was a footprint.
Yeah, it kind of almost looks like a thumb there.
Yeah, I think the fingers look a little longer, but they're not all the way down.
Kind of like
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but it was right next to the other one. And so I took those pictures, and then after I was home for a few weeks, and then I'd come outside and that corn's in the back of my truck. And my wife doesn't buy corn like that. We never have to pull the husk off corn, you know, that. So it was weird because I had a mean headache. I don't get headaches. I get this headache and I come outside. So my truck had been sitting there for about 5 days. It hadn't been moved. We're in a gated community, so no one can walk. No one ever just walks up to our house. They have to come through the gate before they come to our house. And see how that? I think it took the net and the chair and that bag, and it looks like it formed a triangle. So after it formed a triangle, it looked like it placed that corn in there like a presentation form.
Hmm.
Like that's what it looks like to me. Because like I said, we don't buy corn like that. My wife doesn't buy corn like that. That shouldn't have been in the back of my truck.
Spirituality, a triangle has a lot of significance um, in spirituality. So it could be like a
Yeah.
symbol.
So my wife, she says, they want to know if you trust them. She just blurts that out real quick. They want to know if you trust them. I'm like,
Hmm.
what, eat it? She goes, I think they want to know if you trust them.
I'd eat it. I ain't
I ate it, but I put it in the freezer for 3 weeks because didn't jump on it right away. So I put it,
right then and there.
I put it in the freezer and I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And I was coming home one day. I go, I'm just going to eat it. I'm going to go home and eat it, put some butter and some salt on it and eat it. And I did. And it tasted good. So then, about 2 months later, I'm on the YouTube and I see Bigfoots are in this area. That's 10 miles away from me right here where I'm at sitting right now. And it's right where I grew up, but it's on the other side of the mountain. This side of the mountain has a freeway on it that I took for 35 years back and forth to work. But just on the other side of that mountain is full of caves. And it's a big canyon. You can hike through it, but they say it's called it one of the most haunted places here in SoCal. And that's the place. That's the place. So all of a sudden, after I eat this corn, 2 months later, I'm busting out all these pictures at this place. Now, they all come from one place.
Yeah.
All those pictures like that, except for those two prints right there and the corn. The rest are all from the hiking trail.
Yeah. This one here, I was kind of looking at. To me, this looks like maybe shadow play or rock carvings. I was kind of looking at that.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that might be a dead deer in the green, and I think that's blood gushing out of its neck going onto the rocks right there. But to me that's the Sasquatch's head sticking out of a cave, and that's the third picture. Let me see that. That's the third picture. He's not looking at me. He's just moving his head up. The first two he's looking down. So all four pictures look different, right? So it's moving. Whatever it is, it's moving. And it's feeding something. If you can see the pictures that are here in front of it, it's feeding something. You see what looks like a tibia, a leg bone, and looks like a human foot. And it looks like a little bear cub eating the foot. And there's 3 pictures where he's moving the foot. He's moved the foot. Yeah, you still can't see it all right there. I sent them to you, but you can't see it all right there in that one. So this would have been the third head picture. So look, I have a bunch of video and pictures of before and after, and that little cave is not there.
What the hell's going on with my deal here? Hold on, bud. This thing is acting up. I don't know what's going on here. It's not showing to us. There you go.
So these 4 pictures, they're in consecutive pictures. We really need to study these because I'm seeing a mama grizzly bear and a cub grizzly bear. And why are grizzly bears here in the cave in SoCal? And then this thing's above it, sticking its head out of a hole, and these things are eating bones or whatever they are. So
yeah, I've got looks like a couple of about 5 more of those pictures. So I'm trying to open them up. Those last look the same, so I think I accidentally copied them twice.
That would have been the third picture, and so this is the fourth picture. And if you look at them, he's got his left eye open and his right eye is shut, and he has a smile on his face. Hey, if you go as far as this thing, if I took the distance as far as the way it is, and tried to figure out how big this thing is, it's a giant. It's probably about a 14-foot creature.
I'm hoping I didn't download multiple of the same ones.
So like I say, he's only in these 4 pictures, and he's not nothing before. That's the third base shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it has moved some.
Yeah, and if you can see the other two, he's looking down, and then that third one, he starts moving his head up, And that fourth one, he's like, "Hey, I'm looking right at you, buddy."
My computer's starting to do some weird stuff.
Because they're weird pictures.
Yeah, because that one there looks like he is looking away. So I mean, I can see that one maybe sticking out of I mean, these other two.
There's a cave. It's a little cave.
Yeah, it looks like it's rocks to me in shadow play, but that does look like maybe a cave entrance with a face in it.
If you can see what he's doing, because I sent you some other pictures of what he's doing below, and like I said, you can see a fibia of what looks like a person's fibia attached to a foot, and it looks like a little bear cub is eating the foot, but then there's the outline of a bigger bear behind it, and even the big paw, even a big arm and paw comes out. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it. No.
Yeah,
these here, I'm trying to focus on that. I'm just trying to focus on the head, on that picture, on that screenshot. So it's up there in a cave, in these caves, and you can walk right by them. And I didn't see anything. I just took 4 pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4. Went home. Yeah. And I started looking at them. I'm like, what did I get here?
Let's see, the rest of those are okay. So those were all basically the same one. Oh, top of the hour. Thanks, Roxanne. It's the top of the hour. We're going to play some Dark Angel Medical commercial real quick. I've got to top off on some water. That's the only reason why I'm doing the commercial today is because I've been drinking a lot of water today. So this is going to be about 3 minutes or so. But we're going to do some Dark Angel Medicals. If you need to use the bathroom or get something to drink, this should be a good time. So here we go, folks.
He comes quiet, cold of crows, bred like winter in your nose. Foot of the bed, then polite, asking softly for your light.
You stare holes into the wall, hands like paper, helpless small. Every clock hand starts to shake. How much mercy can you take?
Call Dark Angel Medical, call him fast. In the shadows at your shoulder when you're fading black. When his fingers find your heartbeat, digging for control. There's a number in the silence, there's a lifeline for your soul. Call Dark Angel, call Dark Angel. She come running down the stairs, folder full of worn out prayers. He's already in the chair. Death just smirks and combs his hair.
Sign here, death says it's routine. Ink like rivers, cold and mean. Then the nurse kicks in the door. Boots like thunder on the floor.
Call Dark Angel Medical, call him fast. When the shadows at your shoulder, when you're fading black. When his fingers find your heartbeat, digging for control. There's a number in the silence, there's a lifeline for your soul.
You don't own me, you don't get the last word.
We've stitched by worse than you, you're just another curse.
Take your contracts, take your claws, take your empty little scroll.
We've got angels in lab coats guarding every fragile soul. Yeah. Call Dark Angel, call Dark Angel, call Dark Angel, call Dark Angel. Call Dark Angel Medical, call him fast. When he's licking at your laughter, try and drag you back. when his whisper fills the hallway. Hungry for control, there's a promise in the panic. There's a hand to hold your soul. Call dark angel, call dark angel, call.
If you're looking for the best trauma kits and first aid kits on the market, look no further than Dark Angel Medical. You can use Cryptid20 for 20% off. You can use a credit card, FSA, HSA, or Sezzle to buy your kits, and you get your money's worth without a doubt. There's a reason why I promote his product on my show. There's a reason why I use his products at all times, is because I believe 100% in Dark Angel Medical. Gary Pocket Doc Davis is the godfather of kit for life. If you use a kit to save someone's life and you send it to him, he replaces that kit, what you used in that kit, for 100% free. Gary Pocket Doc Davis is also a licensed instructor, so if you need to get certified or recertified, you can call him. He'll come to your business and get you recertified or certified. If you're looking for a quick tip on first aid or trauma, you can go to youtube.com/at Dark Angel Medical 5115. Or you can go to Instagram to Dark Angel Medical, and Kerry Pocket Doc Davis puts little videos out there on how to do proper first aid and trauma treatment. So far, he's up to 214 birthdays saved. You can't find no better product than Dark Angel Medical. All right. Yeah, he's veteran owned. Thank you, Roxanne. Yes, veteran owned and veteran man. Yes, sir.
Check this out. Okay, so right here is the picture I'm talking about, and so right here is the face right here that we were just looking at. Okay, so here's the rest of the picture right here, and if you look at it, I know guys probably can't see this or whatever, but if you look at it right there, see there's a foot bone and a leg. See that bare little cub in the middle there? He's eating a foot.
Oh yeah.
See it? It's eating a foot, and that, look at the tibia bone that's attached to the foot, but behind it looks like the outline of a bigger bear. And then right here below it, that's a bare leg. See, look, that looks like a bare leg and a bear claw. So this is a strange picture. Whatever's going on is this thing up here in the corner is feeding them. So that was the fourth picture. This is the third picture. Yeah, you can see it's different a little bit. See, he's moved the foot, and see the bone. You see the end of the tibia bone better.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I think you sent me those. I'm trying to get them pulled up.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's so crazy, you know. And I didn't see him up in the corner for weeks, and I'm going through those pictures, going, why does it look like something's eating somebody's foot here? And then one day I looked up in the corner, and I go, whoa, what's sticking its head out of that cave right there? And then from just still trying to figure it out what it is. But even when you look at the face, it's got like a ghost face next to it. So I can't say anything's evil if it didn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know people look at things and they go, that's evil. Well, you're just looking at it and saying it's evil. It didn't do nothing.
I'm trying to skim through your photos here.
Yeah, that's that video I took of that brown head there. In the beginning it had green eyes, and then a couple of seconds into the video it switches eyes to orange.
Interesting.
See, that was a go back one. This is there his eyes are orange, and the picture before his eyes were green. That's when I knew I was videotaping something, because I started videotaping, I'm looking at it, and I see it, those two green dots, and they turn orange. And I go, wow, that's a head. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the one that you was just showing to see if I can get it better.
Yeah, those are the headshots. Those are all the headshots. Because that's the first picture. That's the fourth picture. See, he's changed his head. I like that picture.
It looks like a gorilla.
Looks like a gorilla. That's an electric fence too. That's on the trail that it's standing behind. The picture before that, it's not there, and you can see the angle of its back. It looked like it was laying down. Look at this one here, ED. So these are behind. Of course, they're behind the fence, right? And see the green thing, and it's a mask right here. Right here, it looks like it's got a green mask that's pulled down. Yeah, you can see its little brown face, but all that right there in the middle, that's a mask. That they hold these masks up, and they hide behind masks because I guess because of the way their face looks. I don't know. But they also, some of them have cone heads or cone hats on. Yeah. So I sent you a group of the paranormal, right? A lot of the paranormal stuff that I see in there, and that's what that other picture was. That was one of the paranormal faces I see, the ghost, because there's a lot of ghost stuff going on in there.
Oh yeah. Hey, traveling. Yeah, I was trying to find that picture because I know you sent me that picture of the.
Yeah, that's all.
One. That's what I'm trying to find real quick.
That's a little ghost girl. Those are all. Look at that one.
I remember that one from last time. Yeah, that one was one of the most compelling photos you've had.
That's a real picture, you know. Nothing's fake.
Man, I know you sent me that one. That's why I'm trying to find it.
That thing's holding a skull. There it was. That was it. You passed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look, so it looks like a fibia and a foot, and that looks like a little bear cub eating the foot. But in all three consecutive pictures, he's moved it. You know, so he's doing it's moving. But that looks like a leg. That looks like a big bear leg hanging there.
To me, that right there.
Yeah.
That right there, to me, that's shadow play on a rock, because you can tell with the rest of the shadows how it all comes together the same direction. But that right there is interesting right there.
Right, something's eating a foot.
Let me. I want to be able to enlarge this so we can see it better. So give me a second here.
But whatever's happening, that I think that is a Sasquatch up in the corner feeding these things. That's what he's doing. He's feeding them.
Could be.
He might have killed that big bear. They killed the mama bear and let the baby one sit there and eat something. I don't know what's going on. So you see the little cub? See the cub eating the foot?
Yeah.
Okay, now look right above that. It looks like the outline of profile of a bear, the head and the ear and everything right above him. Right there, the black part.
To me, that's shadow play. But this here sticks out. You can definitely see definition in this one, but this here, that looks like shadow play of a rock to me. I could be wrong.
See, that looks like right there, right where you're at. You're in the center of her head. That looks like the profile of a grizzly bear, and a big one, and that's probably its baby eating the foot.
It could be. I mean, it could be just way my computer's looking at it.
Yeah, I know. We weren't there. You know, we're not up there. Look, we're not up there 10 feet away from it. So what can we do?
This is obviously a leg bone. You can tell that. There's no denying that's a leg bone, and that does look like a bear or a dog man or something.
Yeah, eating the foot.
Gnawing on that leg bone.
It's something. So it's in SoCal in the caves. So what is it?
Yeah.
It's a dog man. It's a grizzly bear.
Which grizzly bear used to be in California. I don't believe they are anymore, but that don't mean nothing because we used to have them here in Missouri, and they say they're extinct. But if you listen to a lot of old timers who's passed away now, they talk about still seeing grizz up until they passed away here in Missouri. And there's been reports recently of grizz here in Missouri.
Right here in this specific area, they brag about where they shot the last grizzly in SoCal. In this area, I think in 1908 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking there were some more pictures there.
Yeah, crazy, huh? That's some crazy stuff. And you see that little face sticking out of the cave up there, and it's nuts. It's a real picture. So what do I do with that? What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely worth looking into on that one.
Yeah. So that's just a weird area, man.
I want to enlarge that one a little bit.
Here's some news. If it goes through. So I was with Jessica Jones last week on Cryptid Huntress.
Yeah.
Right? Praise Jessica. Go Jessica. And so some guys hit me up that are from my area, and they know about my area apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said this was just texting going. We haven't really talked yet on the phone. This is just texting going back and forth. That he was trying to get someone to do a documentary out there.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about the dude that called me up 13 years ago, said that he used to go out there 13 years ago, and this is the stuff he saw. Right? You got the video that I watched that sent me out there. You got all these pictures that I take and what I've seen out there. And now we've got somebody else saying they want to do a documentary out there because what they've seen.
Wow.
You know, so that's what you guys got to do. If anybody wants to go and see something like this and have an encounter, if you go back a minute, there's a weird.
Yeah, these are ones we looked at last time you was on.
Yes.
I was trying to see if there's anything.
That's my drawing. Yeah, that's my drawing right there. But what I see that's going on out there, you got this tree. It's a eucalyptus tree.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, the guy that owned all that property brought the first eucalyptus trees into California from Tasmania, and just found that out the other day. So there's this weird tree. It's got this branch that comes straight out, and it goes straight down into the earth. You can't see where the end of it goes to, right?
Yeah.
I don't know of any trees that grow straight down. Okay, everything grows towards the sun, right?
Yeah.
So there's this weird branch. It comes straight out and it goes straight down. You can't see where the end of it goes. So that's why I drew this picture down here of the sun, right below it, pulling that branch down. But then you got these two critters that are crawling up that branch where they were just in that picture a minute ago. And then you got a group of these ones over here. Yeah, right there. You can see the brown. You see the two brown eyes in the middle. There's two of them. There's one in the middle, a brown face with two black eyes, and you see a nose and a mouth. And then below it's a gray one. Below it you can see the eyes and it has a cone head. Yeah, that's the mouth of the brown one.
Okay. Yeah, I can't enlarge these pictures because it's on Facebook.
Yeah. So that's the branch that grows straight into the ground. There you go. You can see the little eyes and the gray one in the middle there, and his nose. But it looks like he has a cone head too. He might have a cone head. Can't tell.
To me, I'm not seeing it. And that could be just me.
You can see that there's two. It has two really good noticeable eyes and its nose and its mouth. They're behind the branches there, right? So those two things are crawling up the branch of that tree. Wow. And then there's a group off to the left of it, and there's a group off to the right of it. And they stay right there next to that tree, and there's a trail. Yeah, see, that's the branch. It goes down to the earth. You can't see where it goes. It's coming up, and there's got these two things in there crawling up.
The thing, there's a tribe in, I believe I can't remember if it's in Asia or South America. I can't remember which one. Will actually take limbs and weave them together or stick them to the ground and make structures and, like bridges or stuff like that along their walking trails. And there's been so many times, I've got so many photos of trees being bent over and stuck in the ground. I see it all the time. So that makes me wonder if they don't do that on purpose, because a lot of Native Americans would also do that as a marker or something. But there's also tribes, I can't remember if it's Asia or South America, like I said, they build structures, interweaving limbs and stuff together. They're, like I said, they create bridges and like the little huts with them. One here, I got to study it more, because to me that just looks like a tree bark design of like
you're right. You're right on his face right there. That's the gray one's face.
I mean, I can see where it looks like a diamond eye, and then a wiggly eye, and then a nose.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That could be something supernatural too, though.
I got it where I've blown it up really good,
Yeah.
So I know, but then again, we're not going to argue about it, because neither one of us is 5 feet away from it. But it's just that's what we're into. It's all fun stuff.
Oh, you didn't send me? I thought you sent me a closer version of that. I guess if I downloaded.
So there's the Yeti head. There's the Yeti head. Now, does that look like something looking over the rocks at you?
Looks like a rock, like a rock sculpture. let me download this where I can see it better. Yeah. But I can't blow it when it's on Facebook. I can't blow it up.
It looks like a great big face, a big rock face. And so I'm on the trail, and I'm looking straight up, and I'm like, what the heck is that, right? So I'm zooming in on it, and I go, whoa, there's a Bigfoot, and he's staring at us. And I kept filming it, and that's when I got those black ones, that were right there, that met the first picture you showed tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But I came back the next day, right? Because if it's gone, it was biological, right? If it's still there, it's a rock or something. Yeah, look at that thing.
Yeah, because to me that looks like a rock, but it almost looks like a Wookiee. You know what I mean? It looks like Chewbacca.
Like it looks like Chewbacca. Yeah, it looks like Chewbacca. So when I'm filming it, I'm all, wow, I'm getting the chills, right? I'm all, man, look, this thing won't even move. It's just staying right there. So when I came back the very next day to see if it was there, and it's still there, but it's changed. It's changed. Like something is trying to carve over it or change it.
That's what I'm thinking too. Is like maybe they're carving something out, because that does look like a rock sculpture, a lot like a rock sculpture.
Yeah.
But it looks so much like Chewbacca right now. It's not even funny.
Yeah, it does. It does look like Chewbacca.
That's where my mind switches.
Yeah, I know.
But it's cool. Which would make sense because there's so many stories of from ancient people talk about how Bigfoot interacted with them, and sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. But I believe that they do carve stuff. I believe that they paint stuff. I believe not everything was done by man. I think Bigfoot has a hand in it as well. That's just my opinion on it. So them making these rock sculptures like this, I agree with it. That's a possibility. I can't dispute that human could have a hand in it. I mean, I have to leave that out there, but I believe that Bigfoot do stuff like this, and I don't know if it's like a marker or if it's like,
they make little things too, right? Everyone knows they make little tiny things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, everybody knows that. And they you said there was a picture a minute ago I sent you of a inscription on a tree. I mean, same thing. It's their face and a big long head. Okay, that thing there. Okay, those two pictures. Look, that's about a 40-foot tall bust out there, and it's only in the canyon. You can't see it from nowhere else but in the canyon.
I wonder if that's a giant from the flood.
If you go back, go ahead. If you go back one picture, now look at that. So that's something that was in the tree that when I was videotaping it, it was shape shifting, and that's one picture there. And to me, that looks just like that rock. It looks just like that 40-foot tall rock to me. You go back again, look at it. The dark eyes and the maybe it might not be for sure, but I think that's something telling this, hey, look, you're supposed to be here. This is where you live. That's why there's a big carving of you on the side of the hill. Maybe that's the way to keep them there. Someone did that to keep them there.
It could be like a territorial marker saying this is our land. When I see this, my first thought automatically goes to, because it almost looks like a helmet. My thought automatically goes to, we know about the floods. It was brought about to destroy the giants, and there's giant remains all over the world like this here that you can see. And I'm wondering if that, or it could be a carving saying, "Hey, this is our land."
Yeah, I need to get, so that's part of it right there. Why it was shape shifting. That comes from the same video right there. Why it was shape shifting. You can see its teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, man, I got to send you that video. You got to see the video when it shape shifted into what it turned out to be. It's crazy. They nibble off the bark off the eucalyptus trees. So it turned into something, and look at this picture here. It's growling at me.
You could be having something supernatural there, jacking with you.
See, the left eye is open, and most of the time it's in the daytime it's sitting there sleeping. But this time it got mad, and you can see its mouth is open and its sharp teeth down here. That's its eye, and keep coming down. That's his mouth and his teeth right there. His mouth is open. And it's hard to see, it's a little bit ways away, but it never looks like this. And I guess one time he was mad at me. He opened up his mouth and his eye and growled at me.
Yeah, you could be doing something supernatural there.
So that's what. Check it out, Eric. That's what it started. That's what it started out as, right there.
A dog. That looks like a golden retriever.
It's up in a tree, like 30 feet up in a tree.
Wow.
And that's what it started out as right there, and then it shape shifted into those other two things. Three things. It was three things. So you just seen 4 pictures of it.
Yeah, uh, I would advise extreme caution.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you see its mouth.
because this thing is screaming to me supernatural,
Mm.
and it may be territorial, and that could be what these things are. Let me go back.
Yep.
That
That's
could be
all.
what these things are. Is a supernatural entity.
It's all the same picture. It's all the same thing. Well, that's a picture of it, what it looks like up on the rock. But those other 4 pictures are it. The same. They're all the same. The same being.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. Those are the same being. There it is, right there too. So there it is, right there too. And it's weird because it's got these eyes that look like they go up over its skull. And I started looking at masks, and I came across this mask called Bakuwana.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at this mask of Bakuwana, it has like 10 resemblance points to this picture here. So it's got the big head, and it's got the eyes going up the head. Okay, it's got the big mouth, long, sharp teeth, and on its nose, it has a horn nose. And it's the same as the mask. And, there's probably a couple thousand different masks of this one creature that these people carved in the Philippines called Bakuwana.
This here
Mhm.
looks like this here.
Yeah, that's the same. Supposed to be the same thing. That's what I think. It's the same thing. But it's up in a tree.
Yeah.
I could show this to you, Eric. You come to California, fly in here, and I'll pick you up, and I'll take you over there. So
Yeah.
there's the mask right there. That's the Bakuwana mask. But why so many different descriptions of something that's just one being?
I mean, straight up supernatural. I mean, this whole thing screams supernatural to me.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find that one picture, but
That's an inscription. If you look at it sideways, I see a spaceship and I see a reptilian.
so I see the spaceship there.
And then right down below it looks like a reptilian crawling to it right there.
Oh, that's right. I can't enlarge it.
Yeah, and that's weird. That's on a tree right there. Everything's on the other side of a fence. I can't walk up to nothing unless I jump.
Sucks.
So there's the what I figure it is. So
Could be, yeah.
something drew that on a tree right there where these things are. I wasn't, I didn't believe in none of this stuff, man. I didn't believe in none of this stuff.
Daggone it.
That one's a little advanced for probably this one. But I didn't believe in none of this stuff, and I start seeing all these things, and
This a lot of the stuff is real, man. It really is, and you have to be careful.
Yeah, that was something else I sent you. We didn't. I think I know where there's 3 portals in this place. I think so. The one was where we were talking about that big head looking out of the hole, eating the thing.
I need to save this one. Hold on a sec. I need to save this one because this one looks.
Portal.
Oh, I'm seeing almost like a googly.
It's turning its face. It's turning its face like this, and that's its shoulder, and then you see its lips, and it's in a branch that comes around in a circle like this, and there's always something different in it, or nothing at all, right? But this time, this was in it. You can see the wire, see the barbed wire out here in front of it,
Mm-hmm.
And then you look, and so I think last time you asked me, you said, how big is that circle branch? And I said it was about 4 or 5 feet. Well, it's not. I went back and looked at it, and it's just like about 3 feet, 2 to 3 feet big in a circle.
And that could be a woven symbol for something. I
think it's turning its head. I think it's got its head bent over like that, and that's the mouth right there. And then you go up and see the nose.
I can see the canines. This is almost like a baboon snout to it.
I call it she-wolf.
It could be.
There's another picture of it that's different. I think it's the same thing. It's actually it's going straight up because that picture looks like it's bending its neck over. This thing is weird. It comes from something else I took a picture of out there. I call it the black swarm.
Yeah, I remember this from last time. Yeah.
Yeah, I call it the black swarm. It's probably a little advanced. It's probably something to get into later, right? But I seen it.
Yeah,
I seen
we
this.
talked about it on the last show because this is one of the, I think I'm into some of your older pictures that you sent me.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, see,
Oh,
there's that thing.
There's a golden retriever again.
So a Lakota Indian over here told me, I go, hey, look at this. What do you think this is? And he says, I think that looks like a Yeti to me. He was an Indian. But see, this tree, this is a big eucalyptus tree, and it's a trippy-ass tree, man. On the bottom, you can see where that branch comes out and starts to go straight down into the earth. But I think this thing was sitting in a nest up there. And now I'm not too sure that those ain't big bat wings, and that thing's facing the right way it would be. You know, the way if you had bat wings and the way a head would turn, not like a bird where the wings would be on the back and the head would be turned the other way. If you got bat wings in front of you, then that thing is facing the right way.
That's man, yeah. I need to enlarge that, but I can't on Facebook.
And then there's some. So yeah, there you go. This is so weird.
I may not have it. I may not have the other picture of that one. I was trying to see if I can find that picture of that one that looked like a baboon.
Oh yeah. I think you got it. I think I saw it a minute ago. But there's also a weird video I sent you earlier of something that's only 12 inches tall, and it's looking at a bug. Right? It sees a bug fly over it, and it turns its head, and it's watching this bug fly over it, and then it sees me, and then it cloaks.
A little person.
Yeah, 12 inches tall. I don't know what else would be that. This thing here, if you look at that face right there, in this one, this was a screenshot from a video, and this thing I saw it go caw. First we heard it, and so I went up there. It was cawing. I went up there and videotaped it, and then when I slow this videotape down, this black thing right here, you can see its mouth move with the last caw it makes. So
that
and
looks
then
like something supernatural.
Around its eyes, it looks like it has wing tattoos around both eyes, like right here, like this, like a wing. But it changes its face. But it's got these little critters crawling over its shoulder on both shoulders. These little black critters are crawling over it. So weird, man. That's weird. It's weird. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, because I mean, I investigate paranormal, supernatural, and cryptids, and so that's what I do my shows on.
Yeah.
And this is straight screaming something supernatural.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I must have either looked over that one photo or what. So I guess we'll just keep going through these.
Yeah. Yeah. This one here, earlier I was telling you about that thing I saw that was black, and then it turned, and then it sent its cronies around to zap me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I slow it down and blow it up and everything, I get this picture here, and I see its two eyes and its nose and its mouth, and then it's got its hair going straight up on top. Because in the 12 o'clock noon, it came up gray, so it looks gray on my video, not black.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, it showed up completely gray, but it makes it turns into that face right there. That's weird too. They're all weird.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think
What
you
a
got
place.
some
What a
supernatural. I think you got some supernatural activity going on in that area. I'd be very leery.
Crazy spot, huh? It's really crazy. So, and this is a picture that I just going through my pictures, and I found this, and I'm all, what in the heck's this?
I gotta blow this one up.
Yeah, it looks.
I remember
like
this one from last time too, because we talked about it, because that was very similar. And I showed you that picture, which I have it in here, of that fairy that I captured on my game cam that I seen like a couple hours before it was captured on my game cam.
Yeah.
Because I want to take a look at this again. I know we looked at this last time he was on my show. I think I'm into the older pictures now, so that's.
I'm okay. Whatever you want to do. Anything you want to do, buddy.
I was looking at that there. I mean, it does look like a fairy on that one there.
It looks like a fairy, and the black part underneath it might be part of a wingtail.
Or it could be shadow.
Yeah.
Given the shadows and how they're going on, like this, that very much, because it almost looks like her leg right there. That could be a shadow. But the reason
But
why I
then,
found that interesting was I believe I still have that on here. Let me take a look and
did
see.
you see that one it's from England? It's on YouTube. It's kind of old where these people go. He goes, "What's that?" And it's like a little pod, and a little
Mm.
fairy pulls up off of it, and they go, "Ew!" And they take off running to the house. Have you seen that one? So to me, that's what
No,
to me that pod looks like the same pod that they had in theirs. Let's
I
see. Oh
guess
yeah, yeah.
that's what I caught on my game cam that I seen like a
It's not
couple hours
moth.
before.
That's
Yeah, a
not a
couple.
moth.
No, this is what I
No.
captured on my game cam a couple hours after it almost hit me in the face on my front porch.
It looks like almost the same size as the one
Mm.
I took a picture of.
Yeah, I mean it
Yeah.
could be a bird, but this is nighttime, so I don't think it's a bird, man. Honestly, that's why I got it as a possible fairy. But it looks similar to this right here.
Yeah. And then, like I say, to see its pod, I think that's its little flying house right there.
That no, it could be. It looks like a bush to me, but yeah, I mean it
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
So, being
Crazy.
we're into them old pictures now, we talked about on the last show. Um, we can get into some more of this recent stuff too, and but yeah, I love that one picture of that fairy because that always fascinated me how much it looked like that one that I um, encountered. It almost hit me in
Yeah.
the face.
Yeah. I ended up with this weird story that came to me, because I don't know, think I might have some kind of link or whatever it is, to like these things. Like when I was 21 and I says, okay, or not when I was 21, in 2021, I says, all right, go ahead and show me what you guys got, right? I want to see it because I'm tired of you poking at me and showing me, trying to scare me here, whatever, all my life stuff's happened. But
Yeah,
I didn't, and I knew it, but I didn't want to acknowledge it. But so about 4 years ago, I said, okay, or 5 years ago, I said, okay, let me see what you got. So right after I saw that footprint in Carlsbad, the same outfit, same company, we were building the same exact building over in Agora Hills, off the 101 in California. And those are, what are those? OSL retirement homes is what we were doing, right?
oh yeah,
So we're doing a big slab for the whole thing, 100 units, and it's like 300 trucks or 300 yards, 30 trucks are going to pour it out. And so the day before, I got to do the rebar check, and so I'm stuck on this damn mountain. I'm just looking straight up this mountain, and they're going, "What's up? What are you doing? What are you doing?" I go, "Something's up there," and they're all, "Nothing's up there. Nothing's up there." I'm telling you, something's up there. So I took off and I went down to the next exit with the big five sporting goods, and I bought a telescope, a pair of binoculars, a monocular, all this different stuff. And I come back to the job site, I got it set up on the hood of my truck, and I'm scoping out the top of this mountain. And they're all, "Knock it off, man. What are you doing?" I go, "Something's up there." "Nothing's up there." I go, "I think something's up there." So then the next day we come back and we're doing the concrete pour, and you can picture this. Everybody is got their back to the mountain watching the concrete pour, right? And I'm the only one turned around, staring straight up at this mountain. And they're going, "What's up there? Knock it off," And I go, "No, something's up there." So I took off to get gas, and the gas station is on that side of the freeway, on the side of that mountain. So I'm pumping gas, and I'm leaning over in my seat, and I'm looking through my windshield, and I'm just staring up there, looking. There's a big rock up there. Well, all of a sudden, two figures come and they walk right in front of the rock, and they stand there, and they're solid black from head to toe is all I can see, right? And so to me, they look like twins. I'm a twin. That doesn't mean I can spot twins, but they looked identical, head to toe black. And when I look on Google Earth, there's not really no trail up there. That don't mean the hikers can't get up there. But they weren't wearing blue or red or yellow or white or nothing. It's just solid black. And they're just standing there looking around. I guess they could be juveniles, like they would be about, a little bit, probably 4 to 5 feet. I guess that could be a juvenile. And I'm just like, wow, what is going on, man? I mean, how did I just look up there and look, and all of a sudden I manifest 2 Sasquatches? And how do you do that? And so then I leave there, and I almost got in an accident because I'm trying to drive, and I'm trying to film with one hand, trying to drive with the other hand. I'm trying to film what's going on up there.
It's such a pain in the ass, ain't it?
Yeah, I almost got an accident. So then the next day is the first time I ever took that step or wasting gas or anything to go out of my way to look for these things, right? So I told my wife, I go, come on, we're going to go back. And it's 100 miles back to the job. But we go anyway, and we're driving around that mountain, and I'm trying to figure something out and trying to figure out what was happening. And I kept getting this image in my head, and I don't know. Now I think I know what it is, but then I didn't know what it was if I saw it or if it was put there. And I could see like the daddy, like those were the kids, right? And I could see the daddy with his big old chest barreling out, the 1.5 inch hair blowing in the wind, and him all badass and coming down like I do with my boys. Come on, get over here, get over here. Come on, what are you guys doing? Get over here, barking at his kids, right? Come on, get over here. And I kept having this thought that this is some kind of portal. Right. And I never really thought about portals or believed in them or anything, but I kept getting this in my head that this was a portal. And so like they don't change. If they got a portal, they don't change for us. They just stay there and always use that same portal. So better not build your house where they have a portal in your living room because they ain't gonna move.
That's the thing. Like, I don't believe Bigfoot used portals. If that was the case, then why would they be beating our sides, our houses in, our doors in? I believe that their medicine men probably can, because you got to have a certain frequency and a certain key to use a portal. I mean, and all your ancient texts talked about this. If you don't have the right key, the right frequency key, then you'll be unalived by going in a portal. So that's why I don't believe that all of them could do it, but maybe the medicine men can. Because in all honesty, why would they need to beat your doors in or tear your vehicle up and they just portal inside of it?
Yeah, I kept. Well, hey, everybody gets their opinion.
They do.
That's what's good about this.
And that's what I love these discussions. That's why I love these discussions.
And I respect your opinion too. And that's why I'm here talking with you, because I respect your opinion. I take everything in you say too. I listen to it, and I think about it. And if I can get it to fit or either way, I use it. But I tell the truth. I just all I can do is tell the truth. And what's happened and what I see and what I can think. So now I'm thinking, was it using me? Did it need another view? Does it need another view? A point to where it can come into where it's coming. So it has its view, but it needs a different point of view. That maybe it was looking through my sight to make sure the coast was clear.
Yeah, there's actually conflicting stories on that, and I don't have the answers to it. Most of your stories is going to tell you just got to know where the location is, and you got to match the energy up to open the portal, and it'll take you to wherever. Other ones will tell you that portals are stationary; you can only use them from one spot to the other. That's the two conflicting stories on it. I know about portals, but I'm not as deep into portals as some people are. William, my good brother in chat here, William Nighthawk, knows more about portals than I do.
Yeah, I got him on Facebook. He does.
Yeah, that man is a fountain of information, and that's why I love going on shows with him all the time when I can, because he's a fountain of information. But most of the stuff that I've studied on portals, most commonly is you got to know where the location is, and you can create your own portal to go there. Then there's actual stationary portals that you can use too. And a lot of this stems back to the Anunnaki, which is the oldest recording written down history we know of. And the Anunnaki used portals to transport from one spot to the other. But there's also little stories in there where they talk about, well, I want to go here, and even though there ain't a main portal here, they can just create their own and go through it. But you have to have the right frequency.
That's their little toolbox they had, huh? That little toolbox they're always carrying around with them probably had the key.
Yeah, that was called a key. Yeah, because they had the correct frequency to do it. And there's been many reports of people accidentally going into portals, and when they come out shortly after, if not right then, they pass away. Yeah,
so that to me, but that's like some of the stuff I've been experiencing, like this corn, like this corn thing. Mm-hmm. We didn't buy corn like that. That corn shouldn't have been in my back of my truck. No hell, no way. But it happened. And so something else happened before that too that was even stranger.
Yeah. I need to point something. pointing something out real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go
Just
ahead.
because somebody doesn't believe in something, I'm listening, looking at the chat here, trying to get caught up on a chat. Just because somebody doesn't believe in something doesn't mean that they're wrong and we're right, or they're right and we're wrong. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. We have me and Jerry here. We don't agree, see eye to eye on certain things, but I'm not discrediting him, and he's not discrediting me.
And I don't
So
feel like that.
never, if you're a new subscriber to the show or an OG to the show, never feel like that you're being pushed out of here. You're more than welcome. I value everybody's opinion. Just because we don't agree on something doesn't mean that either one of us is right or wrong.
I don't feel like you're telling me I'm wrong either. I don't feel like you're telling me I'm wrong. You're just showing me what you're looking at.
Yeah, I was just seeing some comments in here between a couple people, and I want to make sure that people know that is not what this show is about. So, I mean, I don't want anybody to think that just because people in the chat don't agree with you, you're still welcome. Your opinion's still welcome.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So this happened. Then I'm just gonna say it because this is where you say it, right? You come onto the bizarre and the unknown. You say the bizarre and the unknown.
That's what I love it. For a long time, I fought with the title for the show because I was like, man, I dive into supernatural, I dive into paranormal and into cryptids, and I investigate it. So I was like, the bizarre and the unknown, because that's what it is.
I like it.
Hell yeah,
I like it. So this happened just before the corn thing happened. My driveway was super clean. It was all super clean, and my driveway was big. I could park a bunch of cars up on it. I had it cleaned off perfect. We're probably about 4 or 5 houses away from the lake, So I go to Home Depot and I come back, and I didn't see it even then when I pulled up. But when I got out of the car, I walked around my car, and there was a cattail from the lake. Not from a kitty cat. The cattails that grow in the lake. Those got corn dogs with the plant, right? So that was right there under my bumper, and it wasn't there when I just drove up. Man, it wasn't there. It wasn't there when I left, and so there shouldn't be a cattail there, right, on my driveway. Yeah. Shouldn't be there. And then all of a sudden, this is even the weirder part. All of a sudden, I started getting these commercials on TV that say that cattails are edible. Right? That's strange. Some other people might know what I'm talking about. They might know these commercials if they saw them on YouTube. All of a sudden, I'm getting these commercials saying that cattails are edible. But even what's weirder than that is I'm sitting there knowing what's going on. Right? Yeah. I'm like, why is my TV telling me that I can eat that cattail right there? Which I didn't eat it. I didn't want to eat the cattail. And then just right after that, I got corn.
Yeah, and I've used cattail stems to make blowers for my fires when I start fires. I've used them to, instead of having my face down in the fire, I've used the cattail stems to.
Are they edible?
From what I understand, yes.
That's what the TV was telling me, that they were edible. Something wanted me to eat something. And like I say, my wife, she blurts out there, "Oh, I want to know if you trust them." Okay. Yeah. So that's just a weird connection that I feel like I've had with them. And I don't feel like I'm having a connection with them right this second, right now, or anything's going on outside or anything. But, at these certain times, apparently I must have had some kind of connection with them, or they're connecting with me. And we know they can do that. Because we had some other strange stuff that happened to us in Arkansas that I didn't tell you about last time. If you want to hear about it, I can tell you.
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah, I love hearing this. Yeah. We still got 12 minutes. We're good.
Okay, so we sold that house last March in Canyon Lake. We sold our house in Canyon Lake, and we bought property on Horseshoe Bend, Arkansas. And we want to go out there, and we want to develop it and everything. So we rented a house in Cherokee Village, Arkansas. And it's on the lake, on Sequoia Lake and Cherokee Lake. And it's all woods. The whole house is built has woods on it. So there's a little fire pit in the back, and it's about 30 feet away from the house. And so we were there for like a week, and they go, "Hey, let's start a fire in that fire pit tonight." So we get this fire going in the fire pit. And my truck is parked about 60 feet away, and it's backed up, to the where I can have the doors open and listen to the radio. So it's a 4-door dually, and the front doors were open, the back doors were shut, and we're listening to the radio. Me and my wife and my 2 boys. and it just got dark. And we didn't hear nothing else. All of a sudden, one of my back windshield gets on the side of the truck, gets taken out of the truck. Boom! Just disintegrates. Bam! What in the heck is that? You know, we didn't know what it was. It came from the side of the woods, but the woods are just 15 feet away. And my house is on the other side. So, you know, it came from the side of the woods. And didn't come from the fire. We're talking about 60 feet. You know, it could have killed us. If it came from the fire, it could have been something that would have shot us, could have killed us, right? But we didn't hear an explosion like a gun or anything. All we seen was that window just shattered, bam, like that. And I jerked my 45 out of my pocket and it misfired. I'm not going to do that again. Luckily, everybody was behind me. But so I called the cops the next day and they came out, and because I left everything sit right there, I wanted to know what happened. And they couldn't find no projectiles in my truck where it went through my truck. Actually, we seen a slit right before it, because it goes bam, right? And we go over there real quick and there's a little slit in it, and then it just shatters like that bone and falls completely apart. So I could see where something hit it, but it was like about 3 inches and it was about a ½ inch high. You know, something hit it. And but we never did find nothing in the truck. They couldn't find nothing on the ground that we could tell did it. So that's strange. So right after that, we're walking through. My wife goes to pick both her hands up, and she was all, you know, bless the Lord for this beautiful place. Just as she said, Lord, rock or something, whatever it was, hits her hand. Right in her hand. She goes, what in the heck? I seen it. I heard it. It goes, bam, hits her in the hand. Like, what in the heck was that? Right? Just as she was getting ready to say, thank the Lord. He said, thank the, and right, she got the L out. It hits her in the hand. So we're like, well, this is super weird, right? So, but there's oak trees around there, and the house had a tin roof on it. And every once in a while, you hear the walnut come down, bam, and hit the tin roof, right? Well, that's not a big deal, but every once in a while, you hear them come and skip, boom, 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 and skip sideways across that roof. You know, like it didn't fall straight down; it was thrown and projected. And then what else happened? Oh, I took some corn, you know, and because I knew about the corn, right? And so I threw the corn out there, but it was uncooked. And so and they were just little pieces. And so we were sitting there on the patio watching TV. I would take my TV and I would face it towards the woods where they could see it. And I would play like Planet of the Apes. And so we'd just sit there and goof off. And next thing you know, I hear bam. And I'm on the side of the house and I'm thinking, they better not do that corn back over here. And sure enough, because I didn't go out there that night, it was too dark, right? And it's way too hairy. So the next day I would go out there and there's the corn sitting up against my house with the bite mark taken out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so,
I was reading something in here. Miss Anathrop had a question. What type of 45?
Springfield Armory. Yeah. Yeah, and misfired. Right when I pulled it out, I've never had that happen to me before. I pulled it out and I just hold it up. All of a sudden, bam! What in the heck? I don't do that. Luckily, everyone was behind me. You know, it could have been bad, but So I think we got vibed out of that house because if you look on Google Earth, you know, it was the lake, a little park, the street, and then our house. Then there was some houses on both sides where if you were to come out of the woods, because there's solid woods behind it, if you were to come out of the woods to get water, if you were a Sasquatch, you would come right by our house, right? And so one day it's just getting dark, and I hear whoop, 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 like that, loud, and it was moving like it had a purpose, right? Coming right behind my house, like going towards the lake. And I hear that, and I run over there, and I'm thinking I got a Bigfoot channel on, right? Nope, the TV was off, so it wasn't on TV. I'm all, wow, that was crazy, man, because you could just feel it. As when you heard it, you could feel it. And so there was an old man across the street that lived there for many, many, many years. And I had just met him a couple of days before that. And so I talked to him like the next day. I said, hey, Dad, did you hear that whooping about the time it was getting dark? He goes, oh, yeah, I heard it. He goes, what was that? He goes, that's us old hootie owl. Oh, hootie owl. I go, hootie owl? I go, okay. I go, you got a lot of those here? He goes, no. I go, you've ever heard that before here? He goes, no. Never heard that before.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that verbal, 500-pound owl hoot out here.
Yeah, so then So then I think we got vibed out. I kept getting the impression, like you say, you know, when somehow these things can get in you or whatever in your mind, but whatever. I kept getting the premonition that there was one that was, you know, he had to watch for the other ones to come down and get water, and we were just in his wheelhouse.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
believe
mean?
they have lookouts. I mean, so
Yeah.
many times it's described of them having lookouts. I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah, we were just in its wheelhouse. You know, it's got that big old head and that big old brain, and it's whatever it's doing. We were just too close to it. That we came back to California 3 times while we were there and went back, and every time we went back, we were feeling better than when we left. And so we decided, you know what, let's just get away from here because I think we're getting vibed out.
Yeah,
You know, not on purpose, but we were just in his location.
I'm getting a kick out of Aaron here. Yeah, we get whippoorwills here too, but I ain't had a 500-pound whippoorwill yet.
A 900-pound yell. Yeah. So I had left when we were there. I went around the block and I left a 40-pound bag of grain, sweet grain, that I got from the feed store. And then last December, it was getting ready to snow. We left right before that first snow, and I got another bag because I figured, well, if it's snowing and these things are here, they could probably appreciate a big old bag of grain, right? So I took it back to that same area and went to go drop it off. Well, there was a big bucket there, like a container, you know, you would store your stuff in, and it had a bunch of bones in it. And that bag of grain I first put there was gone. So now there's this bucket full of bones. And at first I thought, oh, is that a human in there? Right? So I get out and I'm looking at it and I filmed it. We could tell it was a deer, you know, but I left that same bag there and we left. We got the heck out of there. But
Okay. That's Aaron says she hears whippoorwills, but they don't have them there. Oh,
so every once in a while when we're at this new place out here, you know, at this place where we've been going a bunch, you know, I just get, you know, you get these feelings or you get these thoughts in your head, you know, and then you can start putting your story together. Oh, that's probably why that happened, or that's probably why that happened, you know. That's why I got the stories that I have of being in there, you know.
Man, I've been all over this world, and I've experienced cryptid, paranormal, supernatural all over this world. And I can tell you one thing: it's not the same everywhere you go. It's not. You'll find different stuff. And I've been on locations doing multiple excavation, multiple investigations in one area, and the experience has been different each time in that area too. There's been a lot of similarities, but there was also some differences with it too. It's amazing. That's why I love doing this stuff. That's why I love researching it, talking about it, investigating it, because you find something new every single time. We don't know the answers. I just know what historical records tell you and what my personal experiences is and what I've been heard or what I've read. And they're always different. That's why I love hearing people's stuff, is because we want to do that. We've got about 2 minutes left. You got anything you want to add for the end of the show to everybody?
First, you're welcome to come, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you want to come here, I'll take you to my spot, man, and you can see for yourself, because that's how confident I am in it. And the other one is, if you desire to find out, then ask them to show you, and keep on it, and know the signs. You know, don't get mad. You know, just pick up the signs here and there and let it keep going. See what happens.
Yeah. Jerry, it's been a pleasure having you on again. I'm sorry it's taken so long. I've been busier and hiccups, so it's been hard to set things up with you. I'm just glad I've got a slow week right now. I think it's because of the holidays, and plus there's other jobs that my contractors are doing. So it's kind of nice to be able to finally slow down a little bit where I can get you on. I've got to get Ryan Paul Tremblay back on too, but it's been a pleasure having you on here. I was excited to see you on Jessica's show. Cool. Was it last week or the week before?
Saturday.
Yeah. You know, she is awesome. I love the hell out of her. She's great.
It was good. She was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, keep sending me that stuff, and you know, like I always tell you, just because I don't reply for right off the bat, it's usually because I'm busy.
Yeah, no problem.
And I enjoy it. So, after the outro's done, you're more than welcome to stay on. We can talk backstage, and if you want to. If you got to go, I understand.
Yeah, I got kids and my wife are waiting for me to come do something with them.
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries.
Yeah.
To all my new subscribers and my OGs, thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. Give a shout out to Jerry here. I love seeing his stuff. Everything's fascinating, no matter what it is, regardless if I see something or not. It's still fascinating. I love seeing this stuff. This is why I enjoy this. And everybody sees something different. So, that's why I love talking with people, all over, because we always see something different. We sit around a campfire differently than we do the other person, so we see things from a different point of view. And this is how I believe we grow as investigators and researchers, is by having conversations like this. So I want to thank.
Hard to do.
It is.
This is hard to do because I'm trying to show you something, and we're trying to figure it out together. We were sitting right next to each other, where we could blow it up and we could really dig into it. So I wish someday we could do it that way. But I appreciate you having me on and always allowing me to show my stuff to everybody.
Heck yeah, man.
They can go on Facebook, Jerry Brandenburg, and see a bunch of stuff.
There you go, you guys. If you've got that Facebooky, get on there and look up Jerry Brandenburg and check his stuff out on there. I want everybody to give a shout out to my moderators, Roxanne, William, Jeff. They're a big help during the show. I appreciate their help. With that being said, I don't know what next week's show is going to be about yet. It really depends on what I got going on. We got the holidays and everything coming up, so it's going to be a busy weekend. When is 4th of July this year? That's Saturday. We probably will not have a Saturday show because it's the 4th of July. So spend that time with your family, celebrate our nation's birth. 250 years going strong, baby. God bless America. Keep it strong.
Hit me up anytime you want, Eric.
Heck yeah, man. So as always, everybody, peace, love, and blessings to everyone, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Cool. Bye.
Shadows where whispers hum. The air is thick where the strange things come. Behind the curtain where the fearless go. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. Dare to tread where the darkness hides. Your pulse will race, your breath will freeze in this realm of uncanny mysteries. Dare to tread where the darkness hides. Through the cracks of the world's thin sides. Join if you will take the dare. Where we learn of things that scare. The bizarre wears a wicked grin. Its world pulls you slowly in.
here, you'll never roam.